Factors influencing the success of women in leadership positions. Capstone presentation by Caitlin Cash. Even today, in a society where women have made great leaps in the way of rights, there is still a shocking difference in the number of women who hold leadership positions versus the number of men who hold leadership positions in the business world. Women make up 46.7% of the workforce. Of these, 51.5% are in management, professional, or other related positions. However, only 15.4% hold corporate positions, 14.8% hold board seats, and a whopping 2.4% hold CEO positions. Even with a growing number of women looking to advance their professional lives, the role of business person with a focus on leadership is still predominantly male. No matter how hard women try to prevent them, sexist ideas on a woman's role versus a man's role in the business world still exist. According to Manuel Velasquez, author of Business Ethics, Concepts, and Cases, the American Broadcasting Company did an experiment to prove discrimination and stereotyping still exist to this day. They sent a man and a woman of equal qualifications, experience, education, and appearance to 2 separate interviews at 2 different companies, and after both interviews, the woman was offered a position equivalent to a secretary, and the man was offered the position that he applied for, proving that discrimination still exists to this day. Barriers to leadership positions. There are many barriers to leadership positions for women, and they are collectively known as the glass ceiling. One of these barriers is discrimination. Discrimination is defined as to distinguish one object from another. However, for today's purpose, we'll use it as describes the act of basing an opinion based on a person's characteristics. Oftentimes, discrimination is due to deep-seated beliefs on a woman's role, such as being a housewife. These are often beliefs that someone has held for a very long time, and they are often difficult to overcome. Discrimination occurs anytime that a man is given a position over a woman for no reason other than he is a man. Whether or not is intended, the result is the same: a lack of women in leadership positions and a loss of productive women in the business world. Stereotyping is another barrier to women gaining leadership positions. It is often a root cause of discrimination. It pops up when people have this idea that a woman's role is in the house and not in the business office. With women looking to improve their personal lives, and they end up with a balancing act that can cause people to look down on them, having to balance their families. They often have more interruptions at work, which have employers looking down on the way that they're working and staying at work. According to Dana Levitt, author of Women in Leadership, A Developmental Paradox, a woman who is married, employed, and the parent of young children struggles the most in balancing these roles. Many women often don't look to promote due to the fact that they are feared they will be criticized for being a bad parent when they do have to choose work over the family, and therefore they look for lower positions. Men are still considered the more default leaders. Few women have broken this gender stereotype. Indra Nuvi of PepsiCo and Sheryl Sandberg of Facebook are both very successful CEOs of very large companies. Oftentimes, strong women who put on a masculine persona are feared and disliked, while a woman who puts on a more feminine, caring persona is not taken seriously or looked at as an effective leader. So women have to choose whether they want to be disliked by their peers or face the chance that they won't promote up. Even once they do promote, they face many double standards, such as they can't make mistakes like a man would be able to, and they also won't make as much money as he will. There's a serious lack of training for women because so few women have actually reached these higher levels. there are few that can train other women to reach these levels in the future. According to Mercer, a global human resource consulting firm, 71% of companies do not develop women into leadership roles. Leadership training that is often offered to men is not offered to women. Women suffer from higher expectations. They aren't allowed to make mistakes like a man would be able to. They must strive for perfection. They have to prove that they deserve what they have achieved at every point, and if they do make a mistake, they have to own up to it immediately and fix it, or they face consequences. Sexual misconduct is another barrier. 42% of women working in the federal government have experienced some form of uninvited, unwanted sexual attention, whether it be rape, assault, or just unwanted sexual remarks. It affects women in all positions, such as corporate offices, prison guards, rabbis. It is often due to coercion, in which someone offers if you do this for me, I'll do this for you. 700 out of 7,000 people surveyed claim that they witnessed extreme situations such as this, where their boss offered to give someone a promotion if they slept with them. Advancing in predominantly feminine careers, the healthcare field. Many women think that the healthcare field is generally feminine, and it is, with 74% of healthcare workers being female. However, few actually make it to positions of leadership. 24% are senior executives, 18% hospital CEOs, and 14% are on boards of directors. There's also a crazy difference on how men get to these positions versus how women get to them. Men can be hired from outside of the business, while women are generally hired up through the business. They have worked in healthcare for years, been nurses, or other related positions. Careers as a teacher. Many women become a teacher right out of college, but few actually promote up into superintendent or principal type levels. Increased chances of advancement. The glass cliff. The glass cliff is a term that refers to when a failing company hires a woman as a last resort. It was coined by Ryan and Haslam. In prosperous times, the companies see no need to make any changes, but when a disaster happens, they look for anything different. And women are often seen as the more caring people, and so when it comes to layoffs and other business issues, companies generally look for women. Problems with the glass cliff. It has negative occurrence. It's actually a negative occurrence. It sets women up for failure. When they can't revive the company, they are seen as having failed it and not done their job adequately. Alison Cook and Christy Glass stated that if she is unable to turn the company around, she may take the blame for the failure of the entire company, which is a serious barrier to women in leadership positions. Breaking the barrier, achieving leadership. Successful women. Most women in leadership positions are unmarried, lacking children, focused on professional life, or lack a personal life. However, there are alternative methods to achieving success. If a woman makes herself appear more masculine, such as talking less feminine, talking about sports, Wall Street Journal. Factors aiding advancement. Mentoring, having previous achievements, aspirations to be successful, making the tough choices is important. Being a leader. Remaining an effective leader is important for a woman once she has achieved her goal. She needs to want for all of her employees equally, want for the company, not for the good of herself. She needs to be a strong performer and be a leader, an example for people to follow. If she can do all this, she will have worked to overcome discrimination, stereotypes, and helped to prevent future discrimination of either gender. Thank you.